Cornelia and Xingke are two minor antagonists that Lelouch has to face as Zero. Both characters being just as exceptional and strategic in their military tactics as Lelouch is. So which one is smarter? Let's find out. The first section is spatial and the first category is observations of materials. Xingke seems to take this one since he often uses the elements and his surroundings to his advantage more so than Cornelia, like when he uses the mud water to trap Zero's army and take advantage of him where Cornelia didn't anticipate Zero using a landslide to take out her troops. Xingke takes this with medium difficulty. Next is observations of space. Xingke seems to tail this too for similar reasons, as he will account for how high up he might need to be to tail advantage of his opponents. Xingke takes this with medium difficulty. Last is puzzle solving. This is close, but Cornelia seems to take this as she creates better plans using her observations, while Xingke often reacts to situations and while does consider these things, he doesn't take advantage of them as well. Cornelia takes this with hard difficulty. Xingke 1 more point, so he gets the total points, gaining 21 points, and Cornelia with 6. Next is interpersonal, and the first category is understanding your intentions. This seems close, but it would favor Cornelia as she has more aware moments of herself compared to Xingke, who we don't see inside on all that much. Cornelia gets this with medium difficulty. Next is understanding what you will do. Cornelia gets this one as she is seen devising more plans than Xingke does, where Xingke is more of a person who reacts to a situation. Cornelia gets this with medium difficulty. Next is understanding your limitations. This is close, but it would seem to favor Xingke slightly. Xingke often takes into consideration elements of his surroundings more often and how they might affect himself and others, while Cornelia has overlooked these things on occasion. Xingke gets this with hard difficulty. Next is understanding your knowledge. This seems to favor Cornelia as she uses a better understanding of the information she is presented with, which allows her to create better plans than what Xingke is able to. Cornelia gets this with medium difficulty. Next is adaptability. Xingke seems to get this as previously said, he is more of a person who reacts during a situation, while Cornelia is a planner, and when her plans go wrong she typically has more trouble overcoming her opponent after that. Xingke gets this with medium difficulty. Last is emotional control. This is close as both characters have their moments of weakness, but in the heart of battle it seems like Xingke keeps a cooler head when in the face of danger, where Cornelia often can lose her cool and succumb to pressure. Xingke gets this with hard difficulty. This was really close, but Xingke got 1 extra point over Cornelia, which means he gets the overall points, giving him 19 points and Cornelia with 9. The next section is linguistic, and all these categories seem to favor Cornelia. She often gives information regarding to her troops that allow them to more effectively execute her plans, where Xingke doesn't so much command his troops or tell them how to fight as much as they react to situations more like he does. Cornelia gets these with medium difficulty, giving her the total points of 22 points and Xingke with a 0. Next is Bodily-kinesthetics, and Xingke gets all these categories with easy difficulty as he is seen jumping around and is an actual knight, where Cornelia is typically seen only standing and watching things happen. Xingke gets all the points, giving him 21 points and Cornelia with a 0. Next is interpersonal, and Cornelia gets all these categories. Cornelia often knows what her opponent's intentions are and what they will do to achieve it, as such with the knowledge they have when she was able to recognize Zero's MO and created a situation similar as to draw him out and then predicted where he was hiding. Using the limitations Zero was restricted by to corner him in a dead end. Cornelia gets all these with medium difficulty, giving her the total of 32 points and Xingke with a 0. Next is Existential, and this is a hard one to decide since both have somewhat similar beliefs in wanting to take care of the people they love and protect others. However, Xingke feels more strongly about this than does Cornelia, as well his actions are more consistent with that belief, giving him all these points with medium difficulty, which totals to 12 points and Cornelia with a 0. The next section is logical, and the first category is gathering information. This is close, but it seems to favor Cornelia as she often is able to get more accurate information on her opponents, which then allows her to make better use of that information, which Xingke might only have hearsay information that isn't the most accurate but can still be enough for him, but not enough against Cornelia. Cornelia gets this with hard difficulty. Next is deductions of information. This is close once again, but it still favors Cornelia as she is able to predict more accurately another person's intentions and actions because of her deductions, knowing how people will act or what they will do under certain situations, which she uses. Cornelia gets this with hard difficulty. Last is how the information is used. As already said, Cornelia makes better plans that take advantage of her opponents, where Xingke is more of a person who reacts to a situation rather than plan for it. Cornelia takes this with medium difficulty. Cornelia won all the points, so she gets the total points of 32 points and Xingke with a 0. Next is musical, and the first category is determining different sounds amongst each other. Xingke seems to get this one as he is more used to actually being in the midst of battle, where Cornelia is on the sidelines more often than Xingke is. Xingke gets this with medium difficulty. Next is determining where the sound is coming from. This is close, but it seems to favor Cornelia here, as she was able to recognize many different things from sounds such as a nightmare approaching, or noticing Zero hiding somewhere, or when a landslide was taking place, or when a building was collapsing. Cornelia gets this with hard difficulty. Last is determining what is making the sound. For similar reasons, Cornelia seems to get this one, recognizing what is taking place more often than Xingke does. Cornelia gets this with hard difficulty. This was really close, but Cornelia won it out by just a point, giving her the total points of 14 and Xingke with 5. The last section is Naturalist, and Xingke gets the first two categories. Xingke gets this as he used mudslides against Lelouch, knowing how the combination of the elements surrounding him could give him an advantage where Zero messed up on. Xingke gets these with easy difficulty. Last is understanding animal nature. Cornelia gets this one as she used animal nature to draw Zero out and corner him, predicting his pride and ego of a human being that would undoubtedly provoke Zero into doing what she wanted. Cornelia gets this with medium difficulty. Xingke won more points, so he gets the overall points, giving him 23 points, and Cornelia with 5 points. This was a really close match after a lot of the previous matches were landslide victories. Cornelia and Xingke were both very smart, but both smart at different things. Cornelia acquired 120 points, which put her really close with Xingke in terms of points. Unfortunately, Xingke was about one category short of points, only getting 101 points. This was well balanced, but Cornelia won the bigger sections by a lot more points, which edged out her victory. These two can practically be called even, but we see that Cornelia is slightly better. Cornelia will be moving on to the next round. What did you think of this video? Did you enjoy the comparison, and were the results as expected? Let me know what you think in the comments.